Hello people, you're welcome to ProUp Masterclass. My name is Tola Alabi. In today's class, we're going to be talking about how to survive financial hard times as a graphic designer. So, a couple of weeks ago, I had a webinar with a community called the Young Creatives. Part of what we spoke about was how to survive financial hard times as a graphic designer. Now, there are two things I want you to remember at the end of this class. And one is that if you are running a graphic design business or a creative business or any business of any sort, you would surely come across financial hard times. There are going to be times when there seems to be a dip in your patronage. It seems like your clients have forgotten about you and they're not contacting you. Now, you should prepare yourself for that. Every business goes through that. The second thing you need to remember is the fact that hard times don't last. Hard times don't last forever. They always expire after a period of time. So it might take a couple of days, it might take a couple of weeks, it might take a couple of months, but the thing is, hard times don't last. So I need you to keep those two things at the back of your mind as we go through this class. And I'll be telling you 3 ways in which you can survive hard times as a graphic designer. Now, before I go into this class, I would want to ask you if you've subscribed to the ProUp Masterclass channel. And if you haven't, I want to encourage you to click that subscribe button right now so that you can be part of the ProUp family and you will know when our videos go up. Now, I would also want to encourage you to send in your questions. If you have questions for me, leave a comment below. And if you have any topic you want us to cover in this class, please feel free to send me a message, or you can also leave it in the comment section below. How to survive financial hard times. Now, I've had a lot of graphic designers tell me they're going through a kind of client drought. It seems like clients aren't calling them. They don't get engaged in a lot of work to do, maybe for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, and it just seems like if the business is coming to an end. And the worst thing about it is they have no finance coming in to help them to even survive as people. Now, in this class, I'm going to be telling you what you can do to help you survive financial hard times. So we're going to get right to it. The very first thing you need to do to survive financial hard times as a graphic designer is to always charge a premium. Always charge a premium. A big mistake a lot of graphic designers make is that they do not charge a premium. And what do I mean by charging a premium? A lot of graphic designers, when they take up a job or they have a client, they assume that once they are done with that client job, another client will come knocking on their door. So they charge averagely. They charge for the now. They charge what it takes for them to survive now. And that's because they have that assumption that once I'm done with this job, they are so sure that another client would come with another job. Now, if you are a creative and you're going to survive hard times, you must never have that mentality. You must work like this is the last client in the world. So you must learn to charge a premium. And the advantage of charging a premium is that it leaves you with enough to survive on, even if another client doesn't come at the end of the day knocking on your door. I've learned over the years how to charge a premium. So even if I do not have a client calling me for weeks, it's okay. I can still survive. If I don't have a client calling me for months, I can still survive based on the reserve I have from working with my previous client. So you must always learn how to charge a premium. Never charge averagely. Never charge for now. Never charge what it takes to survive for now. And you must learn to tick off all those things that are not premium services. Like, I personally do not take some services as a graphic designer anymore. Do not take on business card designs or flyer design, because I think about it, how much can someone pay me to actually design just a business card? You understand? It seems so insignificant in the scheme of things. So I do not take up those jobs anymore as single jobs. I put them as part of a design package, so I can now charge a premium. So if you want me to design a business card, it means that I have to design your logo, I have to design your letterheads, I have to design all your company collateral. So I can now charge a premium based on that. But if I were just to charge for a business card, I probably would spend all that money between my office and my home, because it's very little money compared to what you could get if you were charging for a whole branding package. So you must think about what are the things in your services that offer value and you could easily charge a premium on. So you must always charge a premium if you're going to survive hard times. The second thing you need to do if you're going to survive financial hard times is you need to live below your means. Always live below your means. Now I'll try to explain this to you. Now there are three ways in which you can live with your resources. One, you can live above your means, and what that means is that you borrow money from people to get things that are outside of your earning power, things you really cannot afford. So you go out and borrow money from people. Now that's living above your means. You can't afford these things. The second way is you can live within your means, and what that means is that you buy things you can just afford. Things you can afford. And what I mean by just afford is once you pay for those things, your bank account is affected. Your bank account goes to zero. That means that you can just afford them. You can't do any more after purchasing those things. But living below your means means when you can purchase things and you still have enough to live on comfortably. That means you can comfortably afford those things. So you as a graphic designer must always live below your means. People see this as a negative thing, but it isn't. It isn't a negative thing. Now, what I realized is that a lot of graphic designers have a low self-esteem, and we try to cover up this low self-esteem by buying expensive things, expensive clothes, expensive gadgets, expensive laptops, just to look the part and to make sure that we look confident as graphic designers. But you really aren't trying to prove a point to anybody. You must learn the art of living below your means. I personally know graphic designers that have been lucky enough to get good paying jobs, and what they've gotten from that good paying job, they've used it in purchasing expensive phones, expensive iPhones. And you must think, do you really need these expensive gadgets? Especially knowing that when you buy it, your account goes back to zero. So then you're out desperately looking for another design gig. And that's when financial hard times starts to set in. You become desperate because you've purchased something that might be within your means, but it's just within your means. So you must learn. Ask yourself, do you really need to get that high-end phone? Do you really need to get that MacBook? Can you use a PC? Do you really need to change your shoes and get something more expensive? Do you really need to change your clothes? Do you really need to pay for an office space right now? So you must ask yourself these things. It's good to get these things, but you must make sure that it's at a period where these things can be below your means, where you can buy these things and you can still comfortably survive. So always live below your means. The third and final thing I'll be telling you to survive hard times is don't lower your rates out of desperation. Never lower your rates out of desperation. A lot of people during financial hard times see it as a period to take on any job, any client. Now you used to design logos for 50,000 and all of a sudden someone comes and offers you 5,000 and you take it on because times are hard. Now that's a very, very big mistake. Never lower your rates out of desperation because of financial hard times. Never go and revise your rate card because times are hard. The first thing I told you in the beginning of the class, the first two things I told you is, number one, you would always come across financial hard times as a business. Number two, financial hard times don't last. They always expire. Now the problem with taking on any job or taking any money that is offered to you just because times are hard is the fact that you never know when when the situation would expire. And let's give this example. You feel so desperate to take up a job, and on a good day your rate is maybe 50,000, 70,000 to do a logo, and someone comes and offers you 10,000 and you feel, oh, times are hard, I need to take up this job. Now the truth is that the next day someone could come to you offering you your premium rate, which is that 70,000. Now you are stuck with a client that is paying you way below your rate that you have to do that job, which is competing with a client who's going to pay you a premium job. Now, you do not need that kind of burden at that time. But the reason you have that is because you have buckled under pressure because times were hard. Another thing is that when you take on a cheap client because times are hard, this client sticks with you. So when the client comes to you when you've recovered as a company and you now tell the person, oh, my rate is now 70,000, the person feels like you are taking advantage of them because the person came to you at the time and offered you 10,000 and you took it happily. So why are you now taking 70,000 a month later? So this causes conflict between you and your client. So you do not need that dead weight. You must be able to weather out this period of financial strain. Even though you feel tempted to lower your rate, don't give in to that temptation to lower your rate. You must always keep it at the back of your mind that financial hard times don't last. I've gone through this many times in my career where I've gone through very tough financial hard times and people offered me things that are way below my rates, and I feel tempted to say, you know what, just bring this money and let me do the job. But I never do. I never do that. And I realize I always get rewarded for that, because even the people that come and offer me a low rate, when I don't buckle, they come back and say, you know what, let's go at your premium rate. And before you know it, I'm out of my financial strain. So you must always stick to your gun, especially when you're going through financial strain. So those are the three things I would suggest to you to survive financial hard times as a graphic designer. Number 1, always charge a premium, never charge averagely. Number 2, always live below your means, never live above your means or within your means. Number 3, never lower your rates out of desperation. Remember, difficult times don't last. Now, if you have any question concerning the class of today, please feel free to leave a comment. If you have any experience you want to share, please leave a comment. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next class.